Cracking. Officially, good morning. Welcome to the Market Watch Group Monday Market Kickoff. My name is Scott. I will be your host. It's not Monday, though. It's Tuesday. So how do we account for that? Yesterday, the market was closed for the holiday. We took the day off. Today, we're ready to go. Okay, so let's connect the dots. That's what we're here to do. Let's talk about it. Keep in mind that this is educational and illustrative purposes only. We don't give recommendations to buy or sell any security or financial product. We're not brokers or advisors. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, good morning, Sam. Good to see you. Sam coming with some energy. I love it. What are we doing today? Opening futures. Steve mentioned just now that they were up. They are up today. That's correct. We snuck a couple trades in on Friday. If you missed them, you might be like, let me see if I can't pick these up. So yeah, let's, you look to see what the opening price is. Does it pull back? Can you put in a limit order and try to catch it? Those are the things that you can look to do with those. Okay. What else? Light economic calendar, one of the things we talked about. But we'll talk about the posture. If you missed it, we did improve slightly. Mindset for open trades. If you have open trades, my expectation would be that they're bullish. So you would be feeling pretty good about that coming into today's opening market. We'll watch the opening range today. Pretty strong list of stocks. If you didn't see it, one of the things you should be watching for on Sundays is the opportunity list getting posted. With the opportunity list being what? That's what we've come to call. I used to call it the short list, and everyone's like, "Oh, you mean you're going to short that stock?" I'm like, "Oh no, it's not what I mean at all. I mean short, like not very long, shorter than the long list." But to avoid confusion, we moved to we've tried a couple of things: the focus list, the opportunity list, but the opportunity list meaning, in our list of 70 plus stocks, which ones are the ones that look like, hey, this thing is setting up, this thing could trigger any time, this thing, it just needs a small pull. But some of them don't look anywhere near a trade. Like it's not going to be a trade for a while. You don't need to sit and stare at it. So we're trying to make sure that we have a good focus coming in. And if you go back and look at your email, or you go back and you look at the post, speaking of, has anyone been in Circle maybe just like since last night and looked around? It should look prettier in there now, like way cleaner. And I was in there doing some work with some imagery. I hope you like it. Anyways, all right, let's go to it. Trading plan section of the week. I almost forgot. Section 5, right? Section 5 this week. So you can see we were here Friday. We had 2 good days. We broke this, and we're set to open at 611.82. So we're set to open. That's not a huge jump, but that's up here. That's what we're looking at right now is, can this thing continue? And yeah, the thought process for us, we snuck a trade in here. Nope, not Microsoft. Here, Morgan Stanley. Yeah, this one's going to open up a little bit. I don't know. I think it maybe pulled back from when we got in. So, if you were like, hey, is that trade valid? Yeah, I'd put the limit order in, or I would say, let me see if I have that alert. Did anyone take that one? I think most of the people who took it when it was live, because we built it Friday. So that should give you incentive to make a priority of coming to the Friday session, because I think we're like 3 out of 4 Fridays putting trades on. God, what are you doing, Scott? Sorry. Live. Okay, so entry range 138.75 up to 139.50. We're 139.40 by 1. Yeah, I would say it's still valid. I don't know if you'll get 176 necessarily, but I mean, you might be able to be like, hey, you know what? If I could get 190, it's only 14 cents. It's not a huge difference in the pricing. You might say, I'm going to put a limit order in at 190 and see if it fills. 185, see if it fills. So if you're trying to figure out how can I incorporate the trade alerts better, they're still valid the next day if you're still able to catch it in or near the entry range, right? Additionally, today I would expect this to give me a Heikin-Ashi candle, filled at 176 Friday. Yeah, I would expect a Heikin-Ashi candle because, as you can see here, the Heikin-Ashi will open at 137.54 ish. And this thing's at 138.95, which is up here. Yeah, I think it's going to give us, something like one of these. We'll see. That's the Morgan trade. I thought it looked. What else do we like about it? Real quickly, just to point that out. Let me zoom out. You can see the stochastics making a nice turn. You can see we found this support level starting to accelerate out of it. I'm not looking for a little move like this, though that might be what comes. Do I recognize that? Of course I do. I'm not trading for the small move. I'm trading for one of these accelerating moves that you can see it tends to get. So yeah, right. If it goes up here and gets to 144, then it just starts to go sideways. Well, that means it's deviating from the path. So I'd start to tighten my stop and take some action. That's right. I mean, those are the things we do. So that's what I'm looking for on that MS trade. The other one was, I'm trying to remember it without going back to the spreadsheet just to test my memory. Come on, Scott, you can pull it up. It's not Rocket Lab, it's Roblox. Boom. Look at that memory, you guys. I know you're like, holy crap, Scott. How do you have such a steel trap for a memory? And it may seem like that, but I actually struggle at times with my short-term memory. Thank you, Sandy. I just needed one person for that validation. Sandy did it. That's why we're best friends. No one jogged them. I didn't look at any. I didn't look. If you put it, I didn't see it. I fished it from the depths through black magic channels. Okay. It's getting deep in here. Let's get some drawing tools and talk about this trade. This one might look a little different. And this is what I like to call the sneaky reversal. Beautiful trend. We've loved watching Roblox. But Roblox, I don't think I took one. Did I get one earlier? I think I did take, maybe, I can't remember now. There's that damn memory again. But we gapped down prior to earnings. Remember, this wasn't the actual earnings. Earnings came, or was that earnings? No, it was earnings. What did this day? Before market opened. Yeah, okay. So I couldn't remember if that was on the same thing or this. Let's pull back. Gap down. But it rallied all the way back up to here. So then you're like, well, what is that? And then you had the sellers come in. And the sellers came back in. And it only got to here during all of that. And now we see this turn. You can see that your stochastic is popping up out of this oversold area. And as I look at this, so here's what I'm going to do. Imagine if I were to Oh, there we go. Sorry, guys. I think I bumped my mute button. Let me just... Do I have white? Yeah, okay. I'm going to play this fun game where I erase candles. Bear with me. Imagine, if you will, as I clean this, imagine if you didn't have those two. And then imagine if I were to just like cut this part of this candle off, okay? Boop, 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 boop. And then if you just said, what if there was just like a couple of days of transition in here and you saw this? If you saw that, would you think to yourself, hey, you know what? That's not bad, actually. It looks like that thing had got a nice trend. It's pulled back, made a nice solid touch near the 50, like it did back in this area here. Kind of like one of these. Whoops, that got a little ugly on me. But and then ready to bounce. Like, would you say, yeah, you know what? That looks pretty nice right there. It's the same picture, only there was just a little bit more volatility up here that signaled, hey, maybe it got a little hot. And a little bit of activity down here that said, you know what? Maybe they overreacted. So when I come back now and I do this, whoop, it's the same picture. It's the same picture. It just has a little bit of this running hot, a little bit of this overreaction, but overall, this to me looks like the same trend. Yes? Okay. So that's what's hard, is those sneaky reversals where you're like, how do I know? Well, you don't know. We don't know anything. What we know is that when it did this little pullback, it didn't come anywhere near this old low, right? So that wasn't any kind of like, oh, wait a second. It actually held still above the 50. All right. Those are the two. Someone just filled at 193 on Roblox. Yeah, very close. Very, very close. In the context of a 4-to-1 trade, 10 cents on the fill is not going to be something we're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Yeah, sometimes I think we overemphasize entries where we're like, oh man, I missed it. Like, well, 5-10 cents. Come on. Like that's not going to be, that's going to be okay. I think that's a good point to talk about today. So, and there it is. We're off and running. So let's go talk about it. Oh, what's going on? I'm getting like an alert from, can you guys hear me okay? I just got some weird messaging from Zoom. Still seeing good? Still hearing good? Yes. Thank you, Sam. Okay. Then let's get to what else is going on. Yeah, so I was like, we'll get to the earnings, or to the futures. We missed them, but this is what they looked like. Up 0.39, up 0.13, up 0.5. Now we're actually live. What do we have? The Fed minutes to shed light on rate cut outlook. I don't think we need light shed. Earnings loss less than estimated. Why did it go down? Typically, it's guidance in that situation, right? It's the but. We met expectations, but we're going to lower guidance for 2025. And everybody hears nothing but what they say after the word but, right? Yeah. Smartest AI on Earth. What is that? Ooh, more in the AI. I love the AI war. I believe we're building our AI overlords to take us over one day, and it will do a better job than our current political climate. I trust AI more. I'm just saying. Some people may disagree with me, but I don't know. Okay. Grok 3, is that what it's called? I'll have to go take a look. You guys know I'm all about the AI latest and greatest. Nothing really going on right now. If you look at the economic calendar, we talked about the fact that, Empire State Manufacturing is expected to get better, but that's like one of the most volatile reports. Nobody pays too much attention. Home Builder Confidence Index, nobody cares. Tomorrow we have housing starts and building permits. No one's really talking about real estate right now. It is what it is right now, right? There's the minutes, but I just, June at very best, but probably more like July. I think we're all kind of thinking the same thing. The Fed's like, look, I'm not. There hasn't been any concerning. If there starts to be some concerning employment jobs reports, yeah, watch out. If we see like real dramatic drops in maybe like GDP, I can't think of what right now would accelerate the Fed other than a pretty stark drop again. We didn't go even sideways. We ticked back up. So that's really gonna put a damper on their ability to lower rates. It is what it is. Okay. And then Thursday, there's jobless claims, and that's what I mean. They're sitting in the low twos. We're nowhere near the 250s, let alone, upper twos. What else? Oh. Well, look at this news. On Thursday, the champion of the Market Watch group, the hallowed, the revered Sir Dr. Austin Goolsbee for Fed.com. Yeah. He'll be speaking. We know that when Goolsbee speaks, the market listens. Okay. Nothing Friday. Goolsbee is the best. We love Goolsbee. Yeah, there's no news, so watch out for inflation sabers rattling around. Not inflation. Tariff sabers rattling. I'll slap you with a tariff. I think right now let's see what happens with price. That's it. What is the market gonna do right now to digest this? Roblox is flat. Let's go take a quick peek at the generals of the market here. SPY first. Up marginally. 8 minutes in. Let's take a quick peek at our opening range. You can see we opened higher, pushed, tested back down near the upper range of Friday's close, establishing this range up in this upper area. So yeah, certainly as bulls, we would want to see it break 611 and push even higher still. Time will tell. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's go look at what the VIX is telling us, and then we'll go to the watch list and see, are there any other setups that maybe are enticing us? So the market's up a little bit, and the VIX is also up a little bit. Oh, okay. Well, now that's interesting. We ultimately got back down to this low here. That's a pretty good low point. We had a little bit of concern here that we might have been escalating back towards this upper 20 range, right? Certainly where it could escalate to. But instead, we had this up down, and it stayed down in this area here. We did assess this as a lower high. right? This went up and then pulled back, and it was much lower than this high. That helped improve our market posture. Yeah, so this is interesting, right? I'm gonna kind of put this here, but I'm actually gonna use that. That's the highest point. Anything under that, I'm okay with. So if we were to like do this and the market just stalled for a minute, would I be like, oh, my new trades, what am I going to do with them? Not at all. Because if it turns over like this, well, then that would actually be another step down where we're like, oh, maybe we have what we need to get back. Remember where we're looking to get to. We would love to see this thing get back down towards that 12. That's when we're really, really at a good place. Prior to the pandemic, 2017, phenomenal market year. The VIX lived basically between like 12 and 16. And when it would escalate to like 18, maybe 20, right? That's a 2. That's a 1.75 or a 2 in the way that we score and assess the volatility. But the volatility looks good right now, even though it's turned up a little bit today. I'm not like, the market's up a little bit and the VIX is up a little bit. Oh, that's fear sneaking in. I mean, it could be. And if it were to take out, this, just to give me a different color to have this stand out. If we were to take this level out, I'd be like, whoa, what's going on? That's not good. But as of right now, yeah, we're coming into this. VIX is up a titch. Market actually looks okay. We'll see what happens. Let's get to the list. I'll tell you what else is setting up nicely for me. Oh, except for I forgot that they had earnings. I was looking at it thinking like, oh, Walmart's down a little bit. That's perfect. Perfect for it to come back to me. Right? Okay, let's go to the top of the list. What time is it? Plenty of time to get through the list. Apple. Let's start there. Yeah, you can see Apple. Is Miguel here? Right? Apple pausing at the end of this 4-day run. Is it going to have a little pullback and give a new entry, or is it just going to pause and then continue? So if I were in it, I'd still be like, you know what? It looks fine. It's just pausing coming in. Now, if it ends up getting back down near here, that's a whole different ball game. It's a different decision, right? Amazon. Oh, Amazon is just, if we have a bullish afternoon, if this thing gets above this high, 229.89, so let's basically just call it 230. If we're flirting at or above 230 at the end of the day, there's a very good chance an alert comes out on Amazon today. That's what my sources tell me. Right? What is going on? What have I done? There we go. Yes. Very good. We don't know. It's 13 minutes into the market. This setup it's been here for a couple of days where we're like, oh, we were here. We were thinking if this turns, we're jumping. If it turns, we're jumping. It didn't. It pulled back a little more. And we're waiting. We're waiting for it to come to us. And if it turns today, great. If not, and it does this, then tomorrow, same place, 2:30. Right? This thing's just twitching at the starting line. That's how I see it. Let me know if you have thoughts or concerns. App 11, there's nothing there for us. Nothing there for us. The Heiken Ashies borderline. Oh, let me go take a peek at that. That's AXP. That's not the one I meant. Sorry. Hold on. Bam. Would it? Yeah, I actually think that if it did get up here to 230, it would turn white. And remember what we say about, end of day, right? End of day, if it gets there, it's the last red. And what would be something that would help? What would be something that would help us? Remember, we're looking for the last red, first white, first or first momentum candle. Sometimes the first momentum is the first white. Last red, first white, first momentum. Last red, first white, first momentum, right? You can kind of see there's 3 areas in there. The tendency for a small red to be the last red is big, right? Where it's like getting smaller, then we're looking for it to turn white, then to turn white and accelerate the other way. That's kind of how those things work. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I think if we got the 230 mark, it would give you a white-looking doji, or at least something similar to that. Or you wait one more day. Love it. Great conversation. Amazing. Okay. APP, let's get out of these candles now where they're less helpful. Waiting. AXP, I said AXP was possible. We went a different direction. Right? We went a different direction, but we said, hey, you know what? AXP, it's up a little bit, but pulling back. BAC, yeah, BAC was another one we were looking at. That one's down 1%. We're certainly glad we didn't end up in that one. BX is moving, so it's kind of interesting in the financials right now. Caterpillar is still a no. There's nothing there for us. Ooh, CIEN may give us a first Heiken-Ashi white. We actually got 2 whites, and this is the first Heiken-Ashi momentum. Let's look at CLS too. Both of those equally valid. Remember, they're the same thing though, so it's like one or the other. I think CLS looks pretty strong. High volatility though on both of these. Or no, it's a little lower here. It's not as high as pre-levels. Yeah, I would say if the momentum holds in these, there's another chance that an alert could be in one of these. Where would our stop be? Down below this red candle? No. I've got a momentum candle. I don't need a stop down here. I can put my stop in here. And that gives me a much better risk profile. I don't need to wait all the way down to here to be wrong. Now that I have this momentum, it's like, here we go. Not only that, but I should be able to continue moving the stop as we go. So it's a nice bonus of the technique that it's already got that momentum in place for us. Yeah. Quick tip. Don't fall in love with the Heiken-Ashis and then not go back to the standard candles. The standard candles should always be your first perspective. Then the Heiken-Ashi can give us that momentum perspective, a little bit different. CLS, we'd like it, but it's already, see how it's pulling back, right? We don't know. It's way off their highs already. So if this thing ends up red down here, there's nothing for us. So that's why we don't trade that first opening range. Cisco. Oh, Cisco. We thought Cisco would maybe pull back and give us something, but not yet. Still waiting. There's Delta trying to hold that 50. Delta and AXP, like we said, works very similarly. The Dow, flat. Oh. Well, we put this on. We said if it can hold the 50, well, it's holding the 50. Is that enough? And I'd put this trade on today? No. Still a lot of momentum going down. But if it like stabilizes with a doji inside and then pops, there's a maybe here this week in Duke Energy. I'll tell you that we would have a pretty decent trade even if all it did was get back up to this old high. So let's be mindful of that one. Fastenal, no. Flex. Okay. So Flex is still in setup mode. I would imagine no one's still in any piece of the other trade at this point. But I'm ready for the next trade at any given time. This is all still fine for me, right? At the end of the day, did it get the full move we wanted? Nope, but it got a move. Is that move still in kinetic energy form in here, ready to go. Absolutely, right? Popped up. It actually ended up being just a little bit of this little mini cup and handle right here. Whoop, whoop. Which means that if we get here and break, this is the expectation. So we would expect it to... Boom. Now, that's not my trade. I'm not even looking for that much if and when it starts to take off. But so far, hasn't. So what do? Nothing. We wait. We wait. All right. Fox. Nope. Doesn't have that cup and handle, but it did move. Still trying. Bitcoin. Ooh, Bitcoin looked like it wanted to try to give a signal. Turning back over. GE Vernova. Looking for this sneaky reversal. Although it's kind of a secondary. So you can see there's that big gap where, like, was that an overreaction? It goes up, pulls back, holds the 50. Goes up again. Where's my drawing? Goes up again. Can't get through it, but holds the 50 again. So if this thing turns, are we thinking maybe? The check mark says yes. Absolutely. So you can see we've got multiple setups, even potentially for today. We don't know. It's early in the day. We still don't. Oh, we do have an opening range now, so we'll be able to see that for sure. Gold overextended. Google, nothing there for us. Goldman. Oh, we were looking at Goldman and Morgan. Goldman's up about 0.75. We'll see what Morgan is here in a second. Howmet overextended. Need to wait for the pullback. IBM. It gave a little signal here. It's not getting back up to the old high. It's getting close. We'll see what happens. IP no. Come on down. IWM. Well, small caps actually look okay. Look better than the large caps right now. KKR is persona non grata right now. Excommunicado. Which needs to go through a penance pattern before it can rejoin the flock of tradables. MasterCard. I don't know what's going on with MasterCard. Anyone have thoughts? I mean, they had such a strong push. There was a report that came out that talked about the increased debt load Americans are carrying. It's going somewhere, and someone's paying interest on it. I don't know. But it doesn't seem like this thing's pulling back to get us set up here. Meta's pulling back. That's something we said we need. I would put maybe 700 as a nice consolidation target. We'll see if it gets there or not. Morgan is up, but not as much as Goldman. But okay, we're okay with that. Microsoft, nothing for us. NDAQ. Ooh. Okay, so here's a hiccup. And I said, if you took this trade last week on Thursday, I'd be like, yeah. It was I would have hoped you got in like in this area more so than like up at the top of this area. But even right now, I would be like, yeah, that trade's still valid. And what I would be looking at is if you didn't take it, is there a potential for this little hiccup? We've seen hiccups like this all the time. That doesn't shake us out of trades, a little hiccup. So if it's hiccuping, what are we going to do with that? If you're in it, you got to sit and watch it. If you're not, like us, maybe that gives us a potential trade. So let's keep an eye on that. Netflix is overextended. Nvidia pushing a little higher. Still got earnings coming up soon. You hear it a lot. So you're like, man, I should be trading Nvidia because you hear it in the news a lot. Do not succumb to that. We look at this thing in the last, let's just say from here. I mean, realistically, and didn't we trade Nvidia back here, or was it PLTR? We've traded more PLTR, that's for sure. We crushed PLTR back in that area. But if you look now, I mean, geez. Whoomp, 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 oomph. Like that's not appealing. That's not like, oh, look at these great patterns you're missing. But we think there's something there because we hear about it a lot in the media. And I just want to put that warning out there to be careful not to be unduly influenced. Speaking of PLTR, we love you. We wish you would come visit us so we could trade you. Where would that visit be? I don't know. Maybe back in here somewhere. We got excited on this one and it just didn't go anywhere, right? Like, we love PLTR. We want to trade it so bad. Probably my number one favorite stock to trade in the last year. QQQ, no. Roblox. Roblox was another one that we put that sneaky on and we're thinking, all right, let's see what happens. Could this hiccup? Oh, yeah. Absolutely it could. You got to be ready for that. It might. What do we want it to do? We want it to just, make that run. Let's go. Get up here first, get up here second. It's early in the trade. We've moved from stage 1 developing to stage 2. Stage 1 pre-trade, stage 2 developing. The trade's developing for both of them. Let it develop. Let it develop. Reddit setting up like Amazon. We're looking for it. We're ready for it. Right? It's maybe stabilizing in here and then a turn. I would love to grab a trade on this one. And if that's happening, you can imagine, well, both Reddit and Roblox will be moving as they have been together. Rocket Labs. I'm not going to because I feel like this sideways has just been like, you have time for a trade before earnings, and it does look like the stochastics is crossing. If it look like this at the end of the day, that's valid. We've had a couple of good trades on Rocket Lab. So Snowflake is up from Friday's close, but down for the day. So I don't know. SoFi. We said we liked SoFi. The problem was it was 7% by the end of the day. We didn't have the ability. If we had it down here, in fact, that was really the trade there. Thursday. SPY, we are marginally up, 0.14. So just sort of sitting in our opening range, right? If you look at this, we established the range down here and bounce back up. So if we break above 611, I would say it's going to be a bullish day. And if we break back below 610, I would say we may still be in pullback territory. Here is TJX, which does not look good on the day, but let's see what it looks like here. Yep, continuing to show some volatility. Toast looks good, but reports earnings tomorrow. There wasn't much for us there. Tesla does not look good. Does not look good. TSM, that's a maybe for me. Twilio, no, it's a little smashed up on earnings. Nothing for us there. Bullish dollar index has just kind of found a more stable point. Here's the VIX. I don't know. It is up, but it doesn't look like there's like, oh man, look at the fear coming into the market. It's like, it's a little blip. Walmart. Oh man, I want to trade Walmart. And earnings are coming up. You can see last time it had a nice run coming out of earnings. If we pull back and it gaps, I might trade the gap on earnings like this one. I might take it and just take it as a continuation trade. So good last time. So let's be mindful of that trade. All right, there it is. Look at that with 1 minute to spare. Real quickly, don't forget tonight is working sessions, the Trading Foundations. We are working on Section 5, your routines. Depending on how your day is constructed, you're looking to see if you can't get 1, 2, or all 3 of these before the market opens, during market hours, after market close. Configuring what you do during those times to make sure that you are as efficient as possible with your trading time. Glenn will be here tonight at 7:30 p.m. You'll have a 15-minute break. I'll be here at 8:30 p.m. Lots of Q&A time. This is where we're kind of going fast, and then those evening sessions give you a chance. Like if you have a few questions, man, I'll tell you what, just come and put them in the chat and watch where the discussions go. It may seem like such a easy question, but it leads to great rabbit holes where you're like, it connects some dots for me. So hopefully you can join me for that. It's great to see everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Keep an eye out on the alerts. And as always, did I see Bob Roberts' question? Oh, hold on a second. No, I didn't. I'm gonna go back and see. Where was it? Wait, was it the earnings loss less than anticipated question? Yes, I answered that one. Sorry. Which was there a question I didn't see? In circle. Sorry, I thought you meant just now. We'll get to that tonight. Absolutely. Thanks everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Happy trading.
Recording stop.